Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let me call this hearing of the Senate Committee on Finance to order, the hearing of the budget of the National Irrigation Authority. Okay. For the proposed NIA budget in the General Appropriations Act is 36.8 billion. As compared to the 41.68 billion in 2018 and a decrease of 11%. Okay. So let me acknowledge the presence of our senator, our minority floor leader, Senator Franklin Drilon from Iloilo, and then of course from the National Irrigation Authority, our resource speaker, our resource persons, General Ricardo Visaya, Administrator, Mr. Romeo G. Gan, Deputy Administrator, Ms. Rogelia De La Torre, Department Manager, Office of the Corporate Planning Services, Ms. Filipina Bermudez, Department Manager, Office of the Public Affairs and Information Staff, Deputy Administrator, Office of the Administrator for Engineering and Operation, Mr. Sar Sulaik, Manager, Engineering Department, Ms. Lydia Esguera, Acting Manager, Financial Management Department, Ms. Edita Morales, and Acting Manager, Operations Department, Ms. Delcy Revellame. Okay. So, if our Senate Minority Floor Leader would like to make a comment.
I would rather listen, Madam
Okay.
Chair. I have no questions, I have no comment at this point.
So we will hear the presentation of our administrator. Okay.
The Honorable Senator Cynthia Villarmam, the Senate Minority Leader, Senator Franklin Drilon, sir, government employees, other visitors, a pleasant morning to all of us. NIA humbly presents to the Committee on Finance the budget proposal for 2019 to support the operations, irrigation program, and activities that will be undertaken collectively with the regional offices, project management offices, irrigation management offices, and irrigation systems offices nationwide. Shown are the laws and legal basis of the present NIA operations to fulfill the mandates. And earlier this year, the approval of the Free Irrigation Service Act, or Republic Act 10969, confirms that NIA will no longer collect revenues of irrigation service fees from beneficiaries with land holdings of 8 hectares and below. Corporate beneficiaries and those with more than 8 hectares serviced with irrigation water will continue to pay. The implementing rules and regulations of the particular law was formulated and cascaded to concerned sectors and now being finalized. For clarification, NIA ceased collecting revenues from beneficiaries in 2017 croppings. Shown is our mission, and NIA will continue to provide irrigation water in all established types of irrigation sources and pursue more developments in rural and remote areas. Next slide, please. As of December 2017, 60% of the estimated potential area is now developed with irrigation facilities. The NIA still has 40% remaining area to be developed. The development of these areas in succeeding years will contribute to higher agricultural productivity, not only for rice but also for other value crops. This is the trend of irrigation development from 2005 to 2017. A yearly average area of about 40,000 hectares are being developed and constructed with irrigation structures. Next slide, please. With the present administration, the trust and priorities of NIA are anchored on the support programs that are now part of the Philippine Development Plan for 2017 to 2022. The focus in the infrastructure sector is to accelerate development and construction. Next slide. The proposed budget will address the priority for sustaining the services of irrigation systems through adequate provision of budget for the operation and maintenance of all facilities that were damaged due to the occurrence of adversities like storms, floods, earthquakes, El Nino phenomenon, among others. Some facilities were destroyed, needing interventions. This operation and maintenance program will address both the national and communal systems. The national irrigation systems are directly under NIA supervision. The budget also focuses on restoring non-functioning facilities to recover irrigated areas. This intervention will involve careful study and assessment of water availability from the dam or other source. Due to the adverse effects of climate change, adaptation programs are included to prevent or lessen the effects of risk from happening in dams and other irrigation structures. NIA is in the process of mobilizing a dam safety group composed of experienced personnel and experts to study and look into the present conditions of existing dams constructed under NIA. Protective embankment and structures are being constructed to prevent further widening of river banks caused by heavy floods. Also, installation of rain gauges in special stations of the irrigation systems, replacement and provisions of steel gates are necessary to control the mechanism for the efficient usage of irrigation water. Through the Climate Change Adaptation Program, NIA is assigned with the task of managing a portion of watershed area. The former requirement was sourced from internal generated revenue from irrigation service fees. The use of coconuts for high slope stabilization along roads and in larger canal side slopes have been a part of the NIA's work in applicable project areas. Construction, improvement of service roads and its networks is necessary not only to the agricultural but economic development of the area. NIA's focus is also on the development of irrigation systems for new areas with the construction of irrigation facilities for efficient water delivery. For update, after 35 years, the Balog-Balog Multi-Purpose Project Phase 2 is now in its implementation phase of dam construction. Upon completion of the dam portion by end of 2020, it can operate the entire service area for the canals. There are also large pump irrigation projects that are partly to be funded in the 2019 proposal. The Chico River Pump Irrigation Project in Cagayan has started and is expected to be operational by end of 2022. Other programs are solar deep well and shallow tube well pump systems that will be established in areas appropriate for augmentation of water source during the dry season. The small reservoir irrigation projects are considered a part of the climate change adaptation programs. The reservoir serves as storage for excess water during heavy rains and prevents floods in the lower areas. It will also be a source of irrigation water during the dry season. The 2019 proposal includes 19 SRIPs in varied stages of implementation. Development of small-scale projects is considered to quickly develop and increase irrigation areas. Extension and expansion of existing irrigation systems are highlighted in the 2019 proposal. This will generate new service areas for irrigation and include extensions of canals, structures, and improvement of drainage. The other programs include continuous conduct of feasibility studies and detailed engineering for a new and improved projects, procurement of heavy equipment for the O&M of existing irrigation systems, and irrigation management transfer support services. The physical status update for 2015 to 2018 programs and projects are: the overall physical accomplishments for 2015 to 2018 are 66%, 59%, 67% and 28% respectively. In 2015, targets NIA was able to accomplish and generate 81% for new area, 88% for restored area, 95% for earth canals, 99% for line canals, and 100% for canal structures. The rest of the succeeding years is as shown. As to the financial status report for fiscal year 2015 to 2018 of August 31, 2018, NIA received the full amount of the approved budget through the SARO. NIA was able to obligate 99% of the 2015 total SARO received and disbursed 99% of the total cash received. For 2016, 90% for total SARO and disbursed 96% for the total cash received. For 2017, 97% of the total SARO received and disbursed 97% of the total cash received. Under the fiscal year 2018, NIA was able to obligate 78% of the total SARO and disburse 69% of the total NCA or cash received. For fiscal year 2019 proposal, we are supported under the National Expenditure Program of 36.9 billion and the corporate revenue target of 711 million. The total budget of 37.6 billion is lower than the fiscal year 2018 budget by 4.58 billion or decrease of 10.85%. As to the breakdown by programs, for the general administration and support is 50% of the budget or 18.76 billion. For the support to operations, 2% or 727 million. For the operations, 48% or 18.12 billion. The 2019 proposal budget by expense class are as follows. 8% of the total or 2.98 billion for personnel services. 10% or 3.7 billion for maintenance and other operating expenses, and 82% or 30.93 billion is for capital outlay. The total proposed budget for 2019 is 5.43 billion to cover its operating expenditures. Out of 5.43 billion, 4.71 billion will be sourced out from subsidy of national government for the operating requirements of central office and project management offices for project implementation, and for the operating requirements of the regional offices to be subsidized in effect of free irrigation policy. The 711 million estimated corporate income will be used for the operating expenditures of the agency in addition to subsidy from the national government. In terms of the number of personnel for charging to irrigation subsidy and operating subsidy, 76% or 4,167 personnel from regional offices will be charged to irrigation subsidy, and 24% or 1,299 personnel from central office and project management offices will be charged to operating subsidy for the total of 5,466 personnel. And the comparison between fiscal year 2018 GAA and fiscal year 2019 NAP, there is a decrease of 11% on the total for general administration and support. Also, we have a decrease of 68% in 2019 from the fiscal year 2018 support to operations. And the budget for Operations Program 1, Irrigation Systems Restoration Program, there is also a decrease of 25% in 2019 from 2018 program, for a total decrease of 791 million. In Program 2, Irrigation Systems Development Program, it is decreased by 1% only in 2019 proposed budget. And fiscal year 2019 proposal, we have a target of the following, as shown. Then we have here the list of major ongoing irrigation projects. The Halaor River Multipurpose Project in Region 6, Participatory Irrigation Development Project, the National Irrigation Sector Rehabilitation and Improvement Project, and the Chico River Pump Irrigation Project in Region 2. Once completed, these projects will generate an additional new area of 26,000 hectares and a restoration area of 46,000 hectares, or total of 72,000 hectares. Other major projects funded through local funds, we have the Agno River Irrigation System Extension Project in Region 1, the Casecnan Multipurpose Irrigation and Power Project in Region 3, the Balog-Balog Multipurpose Project in Region 3, Kipot Irrigation Project in Region 4A, Malinaw Dam Improvement Project in Region 7, Malitubog Maridagaw Irrigation Project in Region 12, and the Umayam River Irrigation Project in Region 13. For this, we can provide an additional service area of about 69,000 hectares upon completion of the project within this administration. Also, we would like to report that there are 8 irrigation projects that are flagship projects of the administration, such as the Malitubog Maridagaw Irrigation Project in Region 12, which is ongoing, the Chico River Pump Irrigation Project in Region 2, already started under the China Exim Bank Financing Institution, the Ilocos Sur Trans-Basin Project in Region 1, the Asbang Small Reservoir Irrigation Project in Region 11, the Panay River Basin Integrated Development Project in Region 6, the Ilocos Norte Irrigation Project in Region 1, Tumawini River Multipurpose Project in Region 2, and the Bohol Northeast Basin Multipurpose Project in Region 7. For the new projects, we have ongoing project study. Some of these are completed already also with the detailed design work. Shown are on the slide are designed civil works contracts from 2017 to 2018. Next slide. These are the turnover inaugurated projects. Okay. This is the Republic Act number 10969, the Free Irrigation Service Act. Next, the other irrigation users who shall continue the payment of irrigation service fee as shown. Next, the rates for non-exempt farmers. Next slide. This is the program for irrigation management, transfer, and support services, as supported by the government to address the need for capacity and capability building of the farmers to manage and operate the irrigation system. Since the free irrigation service became a law, IAs and communal system are now being provided with assistance through the fund, which in the previous years only focused to the IAs and the national system. Relative to the trainings, additional program, and the construction of IA Family Model Farm as NIA's corporate social responsibility is providing farmers new knowledge and technology as a source of additional income for them. Next. There are 3 existing family model farms started in 2017 to the following sites as shown. Masalip Riz in Agoo, Lamak CIS in Pinamungahan, Cebu, Tanggub Isrip in Tanggub City, Misamis Occidental. The IA Family Model Farm is visualized to be put in the provinces which needed it most. For fiscal year 2019, NIA targeted 4 additional sites to put up family model farms. Next. The Department of Budget and Management and Department of Science and Technology are collaborating in a program that aims to monitor the status and speed of implementation of government projects, especially those with high value. The program is dubbed as Project DIME, or digital imaging for monitoring and evaluation. DBM has selected the programs and projects that will start to be monitored through Project DIME. NIA's projects are one of the selected projects for DIME. Findings from the monitoring period allowed the DBM to evaluate the status of the projects and to come up with a recommendation to continue or discontinue the funding of the projects, as well as other actions for the improvement of the project. The Project DIME focuses on the implementation rate, achievement rate, and spending rate. Okay. Here are the NIA's compliance to the Project DIME, as shown. Next. For the status of funds pertains to infrastructure component program, NIA obligated 77% out of the allotment received through special allotment release order and disbursed 13% of total budget allocation. For the project coordinate submission to DBM through online, NIA accomplished 76.5%. There are 642 NIA project coordinates to be accomplished within this month. That ends my briefing, ma'am, and we are now ready for any question.
Can we recognize Senator Drilon to ask
Thank
the
you very much,
questions?
Madam Chair. Just for purposes of our monitoring in the Senate, can you give the committee a clear picture of where we were in June of 2016 and where we intend to be in June of 2022 in terms of areas, additional areas irrigated and areas where repair of irrigation facilities took place, so that we can make a comparison where we were at the start of this administration and where we will be at the end in terms of irrigated land and land planted to rice, because this is one area where which is your mandate, and we can judge the performance of the NIA on that basis, insofar as I'm concerned. So can you give us an idea of where we were and where we intend to be at the start and the end of this administration in terms of areas irrigated?
Yes, sir. As it was shown in my briefing, insofar as irrigation development is concerned, we were able to develop in year 2016 about 59.32% or 1.86 million hectares. And if we will continue to have this budget, or kung bababa pa man, sir, we have an increment of about 2% yearly. So in 2022, we will develop about 69.32% of the irrigated area.
How many hectares?
Okay.
Yeah, we're interested in
Sabi mo 69.32 times ano? Of the 3.1. 69.2 times 3 million, ano, 100, ano, ilan?
So ito yung million.
Oo nga. 2022 nga. 2022, i-multiply mo lang. No? 69.32 of 3.1 million. Ilan ba?
Sir, average lang ng 40,000 per year.
Let me go through this chart, which comes from your office, no? This is based on an inventory of December 31, 2017. Estimated total irrigable area is 3.1 million hectares. Is this correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And service areas would be, what is this, 171,983 point, what is this? What's the total? I'm sorry, the total of, for both, for all irrigation systems as of December 31, 2017 is 1,887,986. Is this correct?
Yes, sir.
And therefore the total remaining area to be developed is 1,204,000 hectares. Is that correct, General Bisaya? Tama ba yan?
Yes, sir.
Now, so when you say total area remaining to be developed from December 31, 2017 to when?
Oh,
So that, Madam Chair, I would like to judge their performance on the basis of their targets.
Just give us the figure of your total irrigable land. You said 3.1 million hectares. Now, as of 2016, how much have you irrigated? And you said
1.86, ma'am.
million. Okay. So, you have a remainder of 3.1 minus 1.86 when we started in 2016.
Yep.
That's how much?
Excuse me, Madam Chair, but the mention of 1.86 million hectares is of December 2016, I assume.
yeah.
What I mentioned about 3.1 million is December 2017 already.
Have you changed the total irrigable land? Kasi yun yung total.
Yes, this is of,
The total irrigable land in 2016 is not the same as the total irrigable land in 2017?
I do not know.
We did a change, ma'am. It's 3.128 million hectares.
As of,
This is the
128.
estimated total irrigable area
yeah.
Yes,
And
sir.
it
as
doesn't
of December
change.
31.
It doesn't change from year to year. What
Yes,
is changing is
Yes,
the
yes.
amount of
The
you
area,
have
Yes, sir.
irrigated.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So we start in 2016, 1.86 million hectares. So ang kulang is 3.1 minus 1.86, di ba? Ano 'yon? 160, 1.260, di ba? O ano nagawa mo in 2017?
About,
Kasi wag nyo kami bigyan ng kadami-daming figures. Intindihin lang natin yung figures kasi pag binibigyan nyo kami ng maraming figures, lalo kaming nalilito.
We were only...
2017, ilan ang tinapos mo para alam natin, ending 2017, ilan pa yung i-irrigate mo. Yun lang naman.
Ma'am, we were able to irrigate, sir, ma'am, about 34,000 hectares.
Oh,
So,
di minus 34,000.
Yes, sir.
Diba? O di 1.220. Okay? 60, 26. Okay? So, tinatanong ni Senator Drilon, ano ang itatapusin mo until 2022? Yung projected. So,
2022, 16, 17, 18, 19,
para simple
20,
lang.
21, 22,
Mamememorize natin by
6,
heart.
that's 2,400,
Kasi bibigyan ka ng katakot-takot na ganito.
2,000.
That's
Ma'am,
2017 is 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 5 years.
Yes, ma'am. With the rate that we are going, ma'am, and our yearly average is 40,000 hectares. So more or less, ma'am, ang target, ang ma-accomplish namin in 2022 will be about 1.9 million hectares, sir, ma'am. Average of 40,000 hectares.
No. Ang natitira mo na lang 1,226,000. O kung makaka-average ka sa 5 years ng 200, 5 times 40,000, 200,000. Ang matitira mo na lang na gagawin is 1.9 026. Diba?
1 point.
O, sabihin natin, 1 million hectares na lang tayo in 2022. Yun, malinaw yun. Yun na lang natitirang hindi na i-irrigate. So, ang na-irrigate na natin is 2.1. Kasi nagsimula tayo sa 3.1. Ngayon 1 million na lang. So, 2.1 na natapos natin. Since time immemorial up to now. Okay? Diba? Since birth. Oo. So, may 1 million hectares ka na lang in 2022 na tatapusin. Yung next administration will...
So, by the end of the term of President Duterte, you will have a balance of 1 million hectares irrigable land to be irrigated. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
From the present, from end December 2017 of 3.1. You are telling us, Mr. Administrator, that between January of 2018, January of this year, up to June 30 of 2022, we are going to irrigate 2.1 million. Just to make it,
it's a target.
huh?
Dapat
So that's so, you know, so very simple. Just round it. You're telling us that you're committed to irrigate 2.1 million between hectares between this year and June 30,
No.
2000.
About 1.9, sir. About 1.9.
1.9. That's
Yes, sir.
1.9. Oh.
Yes, sir.
Ano
Yes,
yung
sir.
1.9? Sabi mo, natitira na lang ngayon 1.260. Kasi natapos mo na yung 1.86 hectares in 2016. Bakit magiging 1.9? You said you finished in 2017, 34,000. Tapos every year until 2022, 40,000 a year. Di ma-minus natin yun.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am.
Ano
Sorry,
lang
ma'am.
tayo?
I stand corrected, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Arithmetic
Give us
yan, hindi
the
na-
final figure. I'm just interested just on a broad statistic because we cannot pin you down to the last square meter. So just to repeat, we have here from your office a status of irrigation development based on inventory. Your first column here, as nakalagay, estimated total irrigable area. This one has totally no irrigation, huh?
Yes, sir.
Tama yan, no irrigation, not even in other words, the rest are irrigated, although not in the state that it should be. But just talking about non-irrigated areas, you have 3.128 million. First, can you confirm that, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. This is as of January 1 of last year. Okay. Now, just reconfirm again that by the end of the term of the president, June 30, 2022, what will be the estimated total irrigable area left out of the 3.1 million hectares, which means that whatever is the answer is the irrigable land you intend to irrigate during the term of the president starting January 1, 2017.
So, we project that that we can irrigate about 2.1 million hectares.
How much? Huh?
2.1 million hectares, sir.
2.1
Kaya nga.
million hectares per year.
No, it's the total.
No, sir. Up to
total, sorry.
2022, sir.
Total.
Yes, sir.
Kaya
Okay. So if you have 3.1 right now,
1
which
million.
is
so
estimated
1
to,
million.
you have 1 million, you're saying that what will remain as of when on June 30, 2022 will be 1 million in estimated total irrigable area which is not irrigated. Just a simple, huh? So that we can all understand each other, so that when you come back here, next year, we will say, oh, how much have you done, General?
Yes.
Hindi ba ganon? So you're saying you're committed 1 million will be left, or 2.1 million for during the remaining term of the President.
And 1 million will
yes,
be
sir.
left.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Only 1 million will remain.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's already January of 1 of 2017. We are already, let's say, June 30 of 2018, or a total of 18 months. Di ba? Between this data. For the past 18 months, just to test, how many hectares did you irrigate? Just to test your estimate that you are going to irrigate 2.1 hectares divided by whatever.
40, the 40
X-
a month.
So how many thousand
40 a
hectares
year.
do you
1.5
intend to
years,
irrigate, and how many have you done so far? Is that a reasonable data to ask for?
Yeah, very
actually-
reasonable.
So, yes, sir. And per our record, sir, with the budget that we are receiving, we can irrigate an average of 40,000 hectares per year, sir.
The 1.5 years, 60.
40,000 hectares.
40,000 a year. So kung
Hectares
tinatanong
per-
mo 18 months, dapat 60,000.
So theoretically, have you irrigated 60,000 hectares between January 1 of 2000,
17.
whatever,
17
17
to
to this year? To June 30, 2018? Have you irrigated 60,000 hectares to test your target of
Theory.
40,000 hectares per year?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can you point it out to us where these are?
Yung mga project, Laor,
Which areas are these?
Anong area daw?
yung mga Alaor natin sir.
Ha?
Yung mga Alaor na, yung mga big ticket project.
Hindi, yung past ng sinatanong eh. Saan anong area? Pinakabaraming area na kwan. Saan sa mostly ang yung past natin? Oo.
Mundelsi.
Saan ang karamihan? Sir, can we just look into our records, sir, kung yung area, sir, na ano, sir?
I just want to know the benchmarks that you are presenting to us, whether or not these are really these are based on actual experience or projection, and what are the premises of this projection.
I
That's
just
what-
want to make a comment on the your finance department.
Yes.
Alam mo, pag nagpipresent ka, wag na yung ang dami-dami, but yung we have a general idea, yung mga importante lang numero ang aalalahanin nyo, and then na-memorize na natin yan dapat by heart. O, para pag tinanong tayo, sagot agad tayo. Kasi sa dinami-dami ng numerong ibinigay nyo, hindi mo na mawawaan kung ano itong mga number na to. Parang hindi naman dapat lahat ng number ibibigay nyo, maghahanap na lang tayo ng detalye. Pero yung importante, dapat yun ang natatandaan. Para sa inyong finance department, kasi lahat na lang nangiring ganyan. Pag tinanong mo na yung most important question sa dinami-dami ng number, hindi na masagot yung most
incremental from 2016 to 2017 or 2017. Dapat hanggang June 2018, naka 60,000 tayo. Dito sa
matatapos nyo by June 2018, based on what you have accomplished, kasi gusto malaman ni Senator Drilon kung yung tinatarget nyo na 2.1 in 2022 is na-achieve mo year by year, di ba? Oh.
Pero ang pinaka yung pinakamalaking video na lang? Mostly Luzon di ba? No?
Sinasabi mong 40,000 hectares, pati kasama repair or new lang yon?
Ano yun? New lang, di ba? New lang.
Kasi kung
New lang, ha? New lang, di ba?
new lang
new
yun.
lang, ma'am.
Oh,
New lang, ma'am.
Kasi yun na yung maminus mo dun sa total irrigable land, di ba? Kasi iba naman yung repair. Kasi yung repair, pag isinama mo yun, hindi na tayo matatapos,
Yes, sir.
di ba?
Yes, ma'am. Sir,
Palitan ng upuan. Ano ba yan? Sira-sira upuan.
sir, may we just submit to you, sir, but mostly, sir, ang itong mga kwan, sir, is in Luzon area, sir. Yes, sir.
General, the reason I'm asking that is, as our chairperson said, you know, there's so much detail. And for us, who looks at the whole national government, all the agencies, it is so difficult for us to remember all these details unless we review it every time. That is why, just on a general assessment, what we're just asking for is what are your targets, and if you achieve these targets, how far would you have achieved your mandate? And here we're just looking at your figures you have presented. That's why I asked you the question earlier, what you said to be 3.1 million total irrigable area. This means areas which have totally no irrigation system. This excludes areas which are irrigated but where the state of repair is such that you cannot really say that they are irrigated, but nevertheless, they are excluded. Ito lang ang 3.1 million, just to start the discussion, are areas which have totally no irrigation. So on the first premise, is that correct? Or does this include areas to be repaired? No, it does not. Huh?
Yes, sir.
So 3.128 million is totally unirrigated. I asked that question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, and if that is December 31, 2017, we would like you to tell us what will be the estimated total areas which would have no irrigation by the end of the term of the President. And from that, deducting that from 3.1 will be what you intend to achieve as irrigated areas during the term of the President. That's just,
Yes.
at least insofar as I'm concerned,
Yes, sir.
those are the broad data that I would like to see, that when you come back here next year, we can say that the estimated total irrigable area has been reduced to X thousand number of hectares, and that is the extent of the area that you have irrigated.
Yes, sir.
Is that a fair statistic of monitoring your performance of your agency, General Bisaya?
Yes, sir.
So would you be able to provide us with the data? Remember, I'm just following your data, huh?
Yes, sir.
I'm talking about totally unirrigated, which you intend to irrigate.
Yes, sir.
So,
So by 2022, sir, our projected area that would be developed will already be at 2.1 million hectares, sir. So the remaining will be 1 million.
total area, well, okay, nakalagay dito, total area, total remaining area to be developed, meaning total remaining area unirrigated for the next, that will be the responsibility of the next administration, tama ba?
Yes, sir.
If we're just going to follow this, 3.1 minus 1.2 is about 1 million, or let's say just round it off, 1 million hectares.
Yes, sir.
You are telling us that between January 1 of 2018 up, which is the basis of this, up to June 30, 2022, you would provide irrigation to 1 million hectares, more or less.
Yes, sir.
More or less, so that you are willing to be judged by the end of, by June 30 of 2022, you can come to the Senate and say, this is my target, I have achieved it, I have targeted that only 1 million will remain as unirrigated as against 3.1 million hectares when I came in.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so at least maliwanag yan,
Yes, sir.
So, yan, so you can submit that to us.
Yes, sir.
And I would want now, for, at least for my purposes, submitted to the committee, which areas would be covered by these 2.1 hectares that you intend to provide irrigation, so that you can meet and the timetable, hindi ba? Per year. Let's say, okay, so maliwanag, para yan lang ang bigay niyo sa akin. Pag sa sunod na budget hearing, we will confront you with your own schedule and say, all right, as of June 30, 2019, you're supposed to have irrigated so much per your own program. How much have you achieved? If you have not achieved all, why and where can we help? That's how I want to look at it, which data right now I don't see. So General, will you submit that within this week?
Yes, sir.
So, thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. No more questions. Okay. So, I just want to know, General, I just want you to explain to me what portion of your budget goes to overhead and what portion of the budget goes to program, and then when you divide the program, what goes to new irrigation facilities and what goes to repair?
Saan na banda yan? So, under slide ma'am is our budget by expense class. For personal services, ma'am, is a total of 2.9 billion.
I could not believe that your 18% ang sinasabi mo. Inilipat nyo ba yung ibang budget nyo sa operations? Yung, kasi di ba, when you talk of personal services, you talk of all the personnel. Di ba? Hindi pwede yung nasa head office nyo lang. Because we want to see ilan ba ang gastos nyo talaga lahat sa personnel, ilan ang gastos nyo dun sa, kasi yung MOOE na yan, palagi yung nakukonfuse sa mga tao dyan kasi pinagsasama nyo yung overhead na that comes with the office and whatever other things. Kasi para malito tayo. When you say capital outlay, do you say programs or may capital outlay din dyan na para sa inyo, sa inyong overhead, di ba? Kasi when you talk of programs, it's the irrigation per se. Yung magkano yung dinala nyo sa pag-construct ng irrigation, hindi kasama yung mga personnel, yung mga opisina nyo, yung mga gano'n, that's overhead. Let's clarify that. Wag nyo, kasi hindi ako makapaniwala, walang government na ang overhead is 18%. So, medyo iba yung, gusto ko lang makita, magkano ba nagastan nyo sa personnel nyo, magkano nagastan nyo sa pag-operate nyo ng office, at magkano talaga ang pumunta sa irrigation facilities. Kasi when you say irrigation facilities, di ba kinokontrata nyo yan? Yung contract. Kasi wag nyo isama dun sa paggawa ng irrigation facilities yung overhead nyo. Magkano binigay nyo yung kontrata for the year to make irrigation? Hindi naman kayo gumagawa ng irrigation nyo, kinokontrata nyo yan eh. No? Ano yung total contract na ibinigay nyo for irrigation facilities? And I want you to divide it sa new at saka doon sa repair. O, sino ba nagawa na repair nyo? Kayo o ikinokontrata nyo rin?
Meron din ba kontrata?
O, di lahat kontrata.
Yes, ma'am.
Oo. So, you can say that when you say projects, lahat na ikinontrata nyo kasi hindi man kayo nagawa eh. Di ba? So, aside, tanggalin nyo sa budget nyo yung lahat ng kontrata nyo and then lahat yun overhead. Di ba?
Ma'am, pero meron din ma'am mga, it will be undertaken by force account,
O, you
by admin.
classify
Pero
that.
malit lang yun.
Oh, I want
And-
to know,
Yes,
ilan
ma'am.
ang kinontrata nyo na for irrigation facilities na new at ilan ang ikinontrata nyo for repair. Tatanggalin natin yun doon sa budget nyo, then you explain to me what remains of your budget. Ano, saan pumunta yun? Sa personnel, sa overhead, sa ganyan. Oh. Can you
Ma'am, yes,
present?
Ma'am, may I request
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Finance Department Manager to explain the details?
Okay. Kasi miski ikaw, General, pag ganun siya mag-present, mas madali sa'yo mag-manage. Kasi maliwanag na maliwanag sa'yo yung nangyayari. Katulad ng tinanong ni Senator Drilon, hindi mo kailangan tingnan lahat yung figure na yan. Kailangan mo lang tingnan yung total figure. Kasi pag nagmamanage tayo, pag ginulo tayo ng details, nalilito na tayo. Lalo tayong hindi makamanage ng mabuti, di ba? If you are a management person, talagang minememorize mo yung mga very significant figure, tapos minememorize yun mo yun by heart. Kasi that is what is important. Hindi mo kailangan basahin lahat to. Kasi pag binasa mo lahat to, malilito ka lalo ka hindi makakamanage. So, isabihin mo sa akin, ilan ang pinakontrata nyong dito sa inyong budget, ilan na ipakukontrata dito na new irrigation facilities? Ilan? Kasi hindi ba sa ating budget, identified yan, line budgeting tayo eh. So, alam mo lahat kung ano yung project mo na ipabibid mo, di ba? O, new irrigation facilities at saka yung repair.
Good morning po, ma'am. To have a specific data on the
Yung pakukontrata mong irrigation
Okay.
facilities
So,
for the year. Oh.
for the 2019
Yes.
proposal, we have here the we also include we also treated this as infra work. The cost involved in the operation and maintenance of
No,
Yes, sir.
ihiwalay natin yun.
Sige,
Tinatanong ko lang sa'yo, ano ang ipakakontrata mo sa taong ito na new irrigation facilities?
Okay. For the new irrigation
Kasi
area related.
ihiwalay na natin yung pakukontrata mong new irrigation facilities.
Okay.
Ihiwalay natin yung ipakukontrata mong repair. And then yung matira sa budget mo, then you explain to me one by one saan pupunta yun. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
For the new irrigation systems that for infra cost is 15.7. Kindly go to the slide on the comparison.
15.7
15.7
billion.
billion.
Okay. Ano
For
to,
the new
lahat to,
area.
kontrata, walang overhead dito. Yun
Yes,
lang
ma'am.
ibibigay mong kontrata sa mga kontraktor nyo.
Okay. And then we
Sa
also,
repair, ilan ang pakukontrata mong repair?
for the restoration specific, for the restoration area program, we have 2.3 billion.
Ito ang pakukontrata mo lahat. Bigyan mo ako ng schedule nito ha, nitong 15.7 at saka nitong 2.3 billion. Okay. So you have 18 billion. O ngayon, magkano budget mo? 38 billion. Di ba? 38 point ano?
Ma'am, for the JEE or
Oh.
the net,
Oh.
the total is 36.9.
Bakit? Yun lang ang budget mo.
Ito po yung ibinibigay ni DBM on the net
Okay.
level.
Okay. So, 36 minus 18. So, may natira sa yung 18.9 billion. Saan mo gagastahin to?
Okay,
Ilan
ma'am.
ang personnel dito? Ha? Lahat ng personnel, ha? Ilan ang personnel? Ilan ang overhead? At ano yung iba? Kasi sabi mo sa akin, ang personnel mo is 18. This is not 18. This is one half of your budget. More than one half of your budget. Now, break it down to me how you're going to use more than one half of your budget.
Ma'am, for the in our slide
No, wag mo
also.
akong ganyanin. Gusto
Okay,
ko yung
okay.
simple lang tayo para maliwanag. Ay,
ma'am.
nagugulo ako sa mga ganyan.
For the gas budget, general administration,
Okay.
which
Overhead yon. Okay.
wherein the operating requirement of NIA is there na 4.7 billion. 4.7.
For a gas general administration budget.
For the operating requirement, 4.7. Then we have to pay for the last time yung agri-agra ban that we repaid.
Payment of loans.
Payment
hindi
of
yan
loans.
overhead.
1.5.
Payment of loans.
1.5.
Oh.
Then again, similarly, payment for the kasiknan, NIA obligation,
Payment of kasiknan.
which is 3.3 billion.
Ano yung binabayaran mo sa kasiknan?
Yun po yung sa BOT, ma'am. That
So,
is the
total
government
yan. O, ano pa?
payment. Then, we have, ever since we asked from DBM the subsidy for operation of pumps to sustain the fuel and oil or current.
Hindi, operations yan.
So,
So, yung payment of loans, dalawa lang.
Opo.
1.5 at saka 3.3.
yes, ma'am.
Di 4.8 billion. Okay.
So, the operation, yung sa pump,
So, ngayon, kung 18.9 minus 4.8, may natitira ka pang 14.1 billion na, ano ba to? Personnel operations.
okay.
Oh.
So, mayroon pa po, ma'am,
Ano?
yung operation and maintenance of existing systems na included po dito sa classification under gas, which the DBM reformulated the format of the budget, and it is amounting to 8.2.
Ano yon? Maintenance and operations
Yes,
of
ma'am.
your irrigation.
Existing systems.
Irrigation to, ha?
Yes, ma'am.
May personnel dito.
Opo.
Oh. Maintenance and operations of irrigation is how much?
8.2.
8.2.
Yeah.
Oh.
Then,
Can you break this down for me? This is very big.
Yes, ma'am.
Maintenance and operation, 8.2 billion. This
Yes,
is very big. You don't have to explain to me yung payments kasi utang yon eh. Nagbayad tayo ng utang. But this one is very big. Maintenance and operations of irrigation. You have to break that down to me because that's very big. Okay. So, 8.2. So, natira mo na lang is
7 to 7 million.
5.9. Oh, is that your overhead? and
Meron pa po,
personnel?
ma'am. Meron pa po, ma'am.
Ano?
Other items dito that fall
Alam mo,
under
yung
support.
maintenance and operations of irrigation, maraming personnel dyan, ha? You break it down to me. Pag ano mo yan, i-break down mo din sa akin, ilan ang personnel, ilan ang by expenses, yung 8.2 na yan, ha? Oh. Na, ano?
So, another-
5.9. Ano yung 5.9?
Another, ma'am, is yung we were considered by DBM to ask for 200 million for right-of-way for the year.
Right of way daw.
Right-of-way payments for new projects
Oh.
in order to address the
200 million.
200 million.
Oh, dapat sinama mo na yun dun sa iba. Kasi yon mga capital expenditures yun. Yung ibig sabihin, investment yon. Iba yon. We're looking at your operations. So, tanggalin natin yun. No? 5.7.
We also have the budget that we were granted for the procurement of heavy equipment. Actually, this is 32.5 million. This is
Maliliit lang yan.
the remaining for the 3-year program namin, ma'am.
Maliit lang yan.
Okay. So, ito po yung natira, na 32.5. And then, for the conduct of feasibility study, because we have to continuously conduct for
Magkano yun?
383 million lang po. Then, yung, as mentioned in the presentation on our program on irrigation management transfer program with our Irrigators Association, 112 million.
Ano yun?
Capacity building and continuously capacitating with the new
Yun.
training.
Yun. 112 million training lang. Isama mo yun sa overhead. Hindi naman yun. Hindi yun investment. Overhead yun.
Okay.
Extension services. So,
And,
overhead yun.
yes, ma'am.
Yan ang hilig ng gobyerno eh. Yung mga ganyan eh. Puro ganyan. Okay. Isama mo sa overhead mo yun.
Sige.
O ano? So, 5.7 billion. Yun ang overhead mo. And personnel. So, you have to explain to me, parang ang total na operational nyo is that 8.2 billion at saka 5.7 billion, which is 14 billion. Di ba? So, general, I would say, na ang ginagasta mo lang sa irrigation project is 18 billion. Ngayon, meron kang right-of-way, payment of kasiknan, ganyan-ganyan, malit lang yan, mga 3.5. Oo. And then, ang overhead mo, 14 billion to operate. So, you have to review that if it is really reasonable na with a budget of 36.9 billion, ang overhead mo is 14 billion to operate. Hindi na pupunta. Kasi tayo, pag sinabing nating NIA, akala natin pupunta doon sa irrigation. But in reality, kalahati lang ang pumunta sa irrigation. Kalahati. Kasi 14B out of 36B. That's almost one half. 14B over 36, ilan? 37. Kalahati. Ilan percent yun? 14 over 37. Kasi alam mo sa private company ang personnel and overhead 15%. Eh siyempre matipid sila kasi pag sumobra yon hindi na sila kikita. So ang sabi sa akin no ni Secretary ng DBM ang government daw 45%. Tapos sabi ko bakit yung DTI 30? Efficient yun eh. Yung the rest is 45%. So, we are paying taxes just to pay for the overhead of government. Kaya, ang misconception na bibigyan mo ng 38 billion ng NIA, akala mo marami silang mapapatayo, but actually, kalahati noon pupunta sa overhead. So, ang matitira lang sa mga tao is kalahati. So, can you give me a list of these 18 billion mo na ipakukontrata. And then, yun lang. I want to see the list of the 18 billion na ipapakontrata mo divided into new irrigation facilities and repair. Diba, Iha? And then you give me a list kasi wala naman tayong magagawa doon sa road right of way, sa payment sa kasiknan, sa payment doon sa isa pa, and then 200 million sa pero yung 383 feasibility yon. I-breakdown mo lang sa akin itong sinasabi mo na 8.2 billion na maintenance of an operation of irrigation facilities at saka yung 5.7 mo na overhead mo. Ha? I just want to see how you are spending your money. Ha? Para tuloy, bigyan mo rin si General Visaya para alam din niya kung ano ginagawa niyo sa pera ng alam niyo ang problema minsan every 6 years nagpapalit tayo ng head ng isang agency and then of course hindi sila masyadong familiar do sa agency and you should give them something like this para they know what are they managing. You give me that. When will you give it to me? Tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow. Okay. So we go, what is the status of the IRR of the Free Irrigation Service Act?
Ma'am, actually, this has undergone several revisions, ma'am. And then, when we submitted that to the Office of the Cabinet Secretary, meron pa pong nakitang isa lang, ma'am. So, next month, ma'am, it's already approved na.
Habang wala yung IRR, that means nagbabayad ang mga tao ng irrigation fees?
No, ma'am, no, ma'am. Since
So, hindi na
2017,
sila
ma'am.
nagbabayad?
Wala po, ma'am.
Bakit kailangan ng IRR? What will the IRR solve kung hindi na nagbabayad ang mga tao?
It is so that we can already effect the law, ma'am, na hindi, kasi po, ma'am, nakalagay talaga, very specific doon that we have only to collect irrigation service fee for those
8 hectares and above.
Above, ma'am.
Above 8 hectares.
Above 8
Oo.
hectares, ma'am.
So, ilalagay nyo doon ng estimate.
Yes, ma'am.
Bakit kailangan pang intayin ng IRR to do that? Diba? Pwede nyo na kayo mag-estimate kung ilan ang kukolektahin nyo na more than 8 hectares.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, we are doing that, ma'am.
So, can you make a report?
Yes, ma'am.
Oo. Make a report, ilang farmers ng free irrigation, and then ilan yung farmers na kukolektahan nyo ng 8 hectares, magkano ang estimate. So, pwede ba i-estimate nyo na sa amin yung yung dating kinokolekta nyo na free na irrigation, ngayon binigyan nyo ng free irrigation, bigay nyo sa amin yung listahan noon, kung magkano yon, and then magkano ang projected na makukolekta nyo dun sa above 8 hectares, di ba? Para may idea kami. Kasi before, memorize namin yung budget ng irrigation. I think it's 2 billion mahigit, di ba?
Yes, ma'am.
In fact, that formed the basis nung una kami maglagay ng pera na wala pang free irrigation law, binigay yung pera na yon para during that year, ma-start na yung free irrigation. And then we passed the law. So, and then there is 250 million na binibigay nyo sa Irrigators Association na sinisingil din dati yun ng mga Irrigators Association sa mga kasi dalawa sinisingil yung sa inyong National Irrigation and then yung Irrigators Association. Dalawa yun It's something like 2-point-something billion kayo tapos yung Irrigators Association 250 million. Pareho yung ginawang free. So gusto namin malaman ano yung ginawa niyong free. And then based on that, ano ngayon na masisingil nyo? Kasi may sinisingil kayo beyond 8 hectares.
Yes, ma'am.
You have a projection magkano masisingil nyo doon. And saan nyo dadalhin yung pera nun? Will that form part of your budget in addition to this 36.8, di ba? Kasi I think meron kayong you will spend something coming from your own corporate income,
Yes,
diba?
ma'am.
Kasi
Yes,
sinisingil nyo yung iba,
Yes.
aside from the small farmers. Can you explain that to me para may understanding? Remember, I will be the one to answer the question of the senator, so I have to learn this.
So this will be the amount that will be collected from the
Yung dapat nakokolekta nyo sa farmers, both yung kayo at saka yung Irrigators Association na free na ngayon, bigyan nyo ako ng estimate kung
Yeah.
magkano yun.
Oh, yes,
And then bigyan nyo ako ng estimate nung makokolekta nyo doon sa beyond 8 hectares. Kasi yon papasok sa inyo as your income.
Yes, ma'am.
Diba? And that will form of the budget, that will form part of the budget that you're going to spend for your agency.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
we want to know.
Yes, ma'am.
We
We will
want to
submit
know.
that, ma'am.
Okay, nilistan nyo pa yun. Okay. Okay. Now, what is the impact of Typhoon Onpong on your irrigation system? And how do you solve, how do you propose to solve this? Do you have a budget for disaster in your budget? Do you have a provision for disaster in your budget?
Actually, ma'am, for 2018, we have a QRF fund for amounting to 500 million. But DBM did not give us for 2019 dahil po we will just make a request na doon sa NDRIM. Yes, ma'am. Kaya,
Decentralized na naman nila yan, di ba? Kasi ang DA, binigyan nila, di ba? Oh.
yun nga po
Hindi nga namin maintindihan. May years na dinecentralize, may years na sinentralize. Iliwanagin nyo yun kasi, kasi di ba noon parang nahirapan sila na pag-centralize bago mahingi, hindi na, tapos na yun. Wala na.
Under the present GAA, is your QRF with you? Not with the, is it with you? Huh?
yung sa 500 million, sir, nasa
No,
amin.
today, GAA. Today, 2018.
18. Yes, sir.
Is it with you?
Yes, sir, but wala na, ubos na po yun, sir. Ano lang kasi because per our study, sir, ang
2018 lang ngayon, kailan mo ginasta?
ma'am,
Ay, 2018 lang ngayon eh.
actually, ma'am, nung nangyari po yung urduhat sa Kavinta, hindi pa po enough na itong 500 million.
Kailan ba yung urduha?
No, that was 2017 na
Hindi naman,
October, November.
2018 budget ayun na.
Kaya nga, sir, wala po
Talk
kasi kami.
only of the 2018 budget. Oh.
We are talking about 2018 General Appropriations Act. Today.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
What is your QRF and how much have you obligated? How much were disbursed?
Ano ba typhoon noong 2018? Abagat. At saka ngayon, di ba? Ompong. Ba't urduha yung sinasabi? Iba yung 2017, di ba?
May remaining pa ba?
Dahil 2.2 nga po yung ating damage.
At saka ba sinun mula sa 2019? Di ba decentralized na yan? Oo, bakit wala sila ng 2019?
Sir, actually, sir, the Urduha, Vinta, and Agaton that happened in in December, sir. 2017.
Okay.
And yung Agaton, sir, is January 2018.
Okay, so the QRF for 2018,
18.
you utilized your 2017 budget, which, or what, is that correct, no?
Wala po kasi, sir, ng... Sir, ba tayo noong 2017 na QRF? Ha? Sir, ba tayong QRF noong 2017?
Pero medyo may
Hindi, meron silang 2017. Ba't gagastahin nila
Actually
yung
po kasi, sir, yung 500 million yearly, sir, is not really enough, sir. Yeah, in fact, for this three,
May 2017 kang budget. Iba yung 2018 budget.
Yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am.
In a way, yung urduhan, 2017 nyo, wala ka ng pera noong 2017?
wala na.
Saan mo ginasta yung 2017 mo?
Yung mga previous, ma'am, kasi, ma'am,
Ilista nyo.
ang ano kasi, ang yung typhoon damages namin, sir, is averaging 2.2 billion yearly, sir. Kaya wala talagang natitira, sir.
So you were saying that
Pero
when
kung meron ka bang
the typhoons
pera ng
hit
27,
us in
bumatis tayo ng 2018.
December 2017, you already started repairing in 2018
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
using your QRF funds in
20.
for 2018.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, and this, presumably, the first half of 2018. So you're telling us, Mr. Administrator, that as of today,
Wala kang
your
pera.
QRF is already zero
Wala, sir.
because of the expenses incurred in the first part of the year for typhoons which took place in December of
2017.
2017.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's correct, sir.
O ngayon, ano gagawin mo ngayon
No.
sa
Kaya,
Hong Kong?
yun nga, ma'am.
Now, in Typhoon Umpong, saan po makukuha ng, were you able to respond?
Actually, wala pa, sir, eh.
Wala pa.
sir. Wala,
Ano
sir.
gagawin nyo?
Yeah, yun nga, we have to request from NDRIM.
O, request ka na sa NDRIP.
We are still consolidating yung ano ma'am, yung lahat ng
damage.
yung estimated damages ma'am.
O, ano
But
ang na-consult
even in-
mo?
yung
What is
itong,
your idea of the damage?
Itong kwan nga ma'am the cost of damages.
Ano damages mo? Para at least alam mo kung ilan ang damages mo.
Yung mga irrigation system namin ma'am. So for this ano lang yan ma'am, yung umpong at saka yung habagat, hanging habagat. It costs already ma'am more than 2 billion.
So you are asking for funds from the
NDRIM.
Okay, now, all right. One policy issue here that we have to tackle, Madam Chair, is should NIA have the QRF in their budget?
Yes.
Because they had the QRF in their budget in their current GAA. May QRF kayo, hindi ba? Today.
Yes,
But
sir.
although already exhausted.
Yes, sir.
Now, for 2019, the policy issue, Madam Chair, is should NIA be able to have access in their own budget, QRF, just like the other agencies? Because certainly it will take time for them to access the other funds of the government. I cannot understand why even a small amount of, by standards, 500 million QRF is denied NIA when by an elementary economics graduate would be able to figure out that 500 million is not enough the moment you have a typhoon passing through our area of responsibility. So this is among the items which were deleted in your 2019 budget.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I address this question to our chair, whether or not in her good judgment, we should have a QRF for NIA for 2019.
Kasi diba there was a time when they centralized the QRF to NDRIM. And then what happened during calamities, it took a while. Kasi matagal yung process of asking for NDRIM. So ako, if you're gonna ask me, I want each department to have a QRF.
I agree, ma'am. That is why
That's easier.
we might have to address in the proposed 2019
Question.
budget of the NIA, the QRF, at least at the same level as this year.
Yes, at not only NIA, other
Yes, I mean,
other,
as a matter of policy, we should decentralize. There should be some portion there which will remain in the central office.
NDRIM.
But,
Yeah,
but there should be a minimum, like the SWD, I'm sure the SWD has QRF
Yes.
in their own budget. I do not know the Department of Health, but they should have. The DPWH should have a QRF in their department.
Kasi hindi naman tayo pwede na mag-iintay ng kitagal-tagal Ando na yung calamity.
So I
diba?
move, Madam Chair,
Yes.
that the committee considers restoring the QRF
Of
in the
NIA.
budget of NIA for 2019, at least at the same level as the current GAA. May I know how much, having said that, may I know how much did you recommend under the National Expenditure Program as QRF for your agency? Or is there one?
Actually, sir, because of our study nga, sir, for the past 5 years, sir, averaging, sir, na 2 billion. So, we were asking for a 1 billion, sir.
1 1 billion QRF
Yes, sir, yes,
for
sir.
90.
Yes, sir.
2019.
Yes, sir.
As against your present QRF of 500 million.
Yes, sir.
So those are the parameters, Madam Chair,
Yeah.
that we might want to look at.
Yeah. Okay, tandaan mo yan. Okay, okay. So, what are you going to do now with Ompong? No, at least you have something in mind to do.
So,
Yeah.
after consolidating all the reports from coming from regions 1, 2, 3, and the Cordillera region, ma'am, we will request for funds from NDRIM.
Okay.
Maybe, Mr. Administrator, you should set yourself a deadline as to when you should be able to consolidate all of these reports. These are people under your agency.
Within this week, sir, matatapos na namin, sir.
Matatapos yun
Yes,
na.
sir, yes, sir.
And submit it to
NDRIM, sir.
NRIM. And
Yes, sir.
can you give the chair, the committee, a copy of your proposed
NDRIM.
request for budget?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair.
So, Mr. Administrator General, there are reports that NIA has not been responsive with the needs of farmers with regards to climate change. They are allegedly asking from NIA to let the water flow early, say a month or two earlier than the traditional June, which could have saved the palay from the onslaught of Typhoon Ompong. This is because of the conflict that you have with your repairs, which is usually being done on April and May. The cropping calendar is adjustable and should suit the needs of the times. So, yun po ang complaint sa Central Luzon, di ba? Isabela.
Yes, ma'am. Actually po, nag-adjust na po kami, ma'am, sa, sa cropping calendar.
Kasi nagbabago ang climate.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Anong
ma'am.
araw, ang bagyo nasa June, July, August. Ngayon, nasa October, November, December na. So, gusto ng mga farmer, baguhin na rin yung cropping season nila para pag bagyo, hindi masira yung tanim nila. So, I guess you have to be responsive to that kasi kawawa naman sila. Dapat mag-usap kayo ng mga farmer how you will do the job better.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, that is what we are doing right now, ma'am.
Who's in charge of this?
The systems management.
Sino in charge para alam namin, para pag may nag-complain, hahanapin na namin yon.
We have here, ma'am, Engineer Delcy
Engineer,
in charge, ma'am. Delcy Revilla, ma'am.
ikaw ang in charge nito. So, para pag tumatawag sila sa amin, tatawagan ka namin. And then siguro magpa-meeting ka sa kanila sa ating mga farmers association, cooperatives, at magawa kayo ng better schedule para naman hindi masira yung ating mga crops. O ilayo na natin yung, parang bago pa magbagyuhan, ma-harvest na natin. Kasi sabi nila, kung na-harvest nila several weeks earlier, hindi ganyan kalaki ang damage ng umpong. Di ba? So we have to adjust, okay? O nagre-request daw yung mga gobernador ng meeting sa'yo. So please provide us with the, na nakipag-meeting ka na dun sa mga gobernador, ha? Central Luzon, ano ba yan? Region 2 at saka Region 3. Ha? Okay. Sila ngayon ang palaging tinatamaan eh. Oo, ng and that is very disastrous for all of us. Okay? Okay? So, do you have any more questions?
Yes.
Okay, thank
Will
you.
you permit me, Madam Chair, to be parochial for 1 minute? And I will be referring to the, just to spread on the record, this project that we have in Iloilo, which the administrator is very familiar, and I do not know to what extent our chair is familiar, but maybe we can start by, what is the number of hectares devoted to rice in Iloilo? Is ilan? How many? Total hectares devoted to rice. Ilan?
Kasi
Yeah.
sabi mo 140,000 divide namin by 4.
That's the
140,000 divided by 4.
metric ton. So that's the rice production.
Oo, kasi yun
That's
ang,
4 hectares. Actually, the average is 3.6.
yun, i-divide mo lang ganun. Yun yung hectare.
I want to get it from them also.
Tingnan natin po alam.
Oh, here's the director, Jerry Corsiga. Sige nga, just for the record. What is the number of hectares devoted to rice? What is the annual production of palay? Oh.
The irrigable area right now, sir, is about
I'm sorry?
220 hectares, 220,000 hectares. Now we
For
have
the whole of,
upper region 6, sir. That's irrigable area.
I'm just talking muna about Iloilo because that's where the halaor is. You have none?
Okay. Sandali lang po, sir.
That's why I said I asked permission to the parochial.
Iloilo, sir, has estimated total irrigable area.
Jerry, can you speak on the microphone?
The estimated total irrigable area po is 70,384.
70,
1,384.
3,000
Hectares.
hectares. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Rice, rice production area.
Yung ano? Yung rice natin. Yung production ng...
Rice lang ito muna. I'm only about asking about rice.
Okay, this is considered as rice, sir. Itong 70,000 is the rice.
Rice, all right. How many hectares are irrigated out of the 70,000 to start with? Irrigated, never mind the state of the irrigation.
Okay,
Just
sir.
irrigated.
Okay. Ang irrigation, sir, sa national system is 27,000.
How much?
27,177.82 hectares po.
27,177 hectares is irrigated.
That is under national system, sir.
Okay, national system. And in the communal,
And the communal irrigation system, sir, we have about 9,936. About
9,000.
9,936 hectares.
Let's say 10,000 para
10,000,
madali.
sir.
So we are talking about total irrigated area of roughly 37,000. Ganun ba? Both
37.
national and communal?
37, sir, mga more or less, 37.
Okay, so 37 hectares. What is our total rice palay production for the 37,000 irrigated? Roughly.
Roughly, sir, we multiply that at about 80 to 90 kabans per hectare. And that is we multiply it by two.
Metric tons.
Per hectare, sir. Per hectare.
Huh?
Per hectare. 90 kabans per hectare.
How many thousand metric tons do we produce with the 37,000 or the 70,000, no? 70,000 hectares. Hindi, kahit irrigated o not irrigated, ma'am. Oh.
Roughly around 126,000 metric tons, sir.
126,000 MTs.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
More or less, sir, at 90.
Yeah, more or less. I'm not asking you to 126 metric tons per year, per crop
Yes, sir,
year.
per year. That is
Or-
two croppings, sir. That is
About
two
two
croppings.
croppings. So on the average, how many metric tons per hectare do you produce? Is it 126 divided by 70?
4.5.
Yeah. Is that?
4.5 metric tons, sir.
Huh?
4.5 metric tons.
4.5 metric tons per hectare. Tama ba yan?
Yes, sir.
Per hectare? You should have this as my chair is saying, you should have this by your heart. I mean, these figures. Yun na naman ang, hindi na kailangan yung... ano, Jerry? Ha?
4.5.
4.5 metric tons per hectare on 70,000.
That is for two croppings.
Hindi, no, that's why I'm asking you. Because 70,000, kanya yung total area planted to rice, of which only 37,000 is irrigated both national, but so that's the 126,000 metric tons for the total area planted to rice. Is that, so that are you saying that roughly we are producing 4.5 metric tons per hectare today?
Per year. Per year.
Yeah, of course, per year. Hindi lang naman per week ito. Oh.
Per year, yan. Per year.
Just talking about statistics.
Mali ka. 126 times 70, walang natira dyan. Ano ba?
Ha? Mali daw sabi ng chair ko.
Sir, yung base sa kanila, kasi we established a 90 kabans per hectare. Cropping. Now, you multiply it by 2, we have a 4.5 metric tons yung atin.
Ang production mo lang 126, 126. I-divide mo ng 70,000 hectares.
That's only
Eh
the
di ano wala pang 2 yan, 1.8 lang yan. O mali ka, ano ba yan?
If you have, yeah, that's correct. If you have 70, that's why we're starting in data. How many hectares are planted to rice, both irrigated and unirrigated? You're saying 70,000 hectares.
That is based on the irrigated areas are on national at saka communal. Pero meron pa po, sir, private at other government agencies planted to rice.
Kaya nga, tinatanong ko lang general eh.
Okay.
What is the area planted to rice? Both irrigated, non-irrigated. Never mind where the irrigation comes from. Basta irrigated and non-irrigated. Ilang thousand hectares?
That is 70,000, sir, sa Iloilo alone.
Oh, 70,000 hectares. All right? Never mind first, basta 70,000 hectares, of which roughly 37,000 hectares are irrigated.
Yes, for communal
Right
at
now,
national.
on the 70,384,000 hectares devoted to rice, what is the yield in terms metric tons
Okay. So,
total per annum?
per annum. Per annum, sir, as computed for rice is about 9 metric tons because 4.5 times 2 croppings.
Ilan na nga. Give me the total, by goodness gracious.
9 metric tons, sir.
Huh?
9 metric tons.
For the, my goodness, for the 70,000, ilan?
For the 70,000, for the 70,000, sir, or the 1 hectare?
Ay, Jesus Christ.
Relax lang, sir.
For the 70,000, nakikinig ka pa, naririnig ng buong niya. Mukhang iba yung naririnig mo.
Okay, sir. Here is our answer for the total of the 70,000. That is 633,456 metric tons.
Again?
633,456 metric tons.
133,000?
633,000.
Ha? 133?
633.
633,000. Just round it off.
633,000.
Ha? Metric tons, we're
Metric
talking
tons, sir.
633,000 metric tons
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
for the 70,000 hectares.
Hectares.
Okay, sige, I'll accept that, okay. So how many per hectare on the average per year? How do you compute pa this thing? Hindi ba?
Per year.
Is it 633,000 metric tons divided by 70?
Yes, sir.
9 metric tons
Ha?
9 metric tons. 9 metric tons.
per year.
Per hectare?
Yes, sir.
Per year, sir.
Per
Two
year.
crops.
Two crops.
Ilan?
9 metric tons per year. That is for 2 croppings, sir.
For 2 crops, okay. So per cropping is 4.5
Yes, sir.
metric tons.
Yes, sir.
Ha? Per crop, okay.
Alam mo, pinabababa ko, meron kaming record na 57 rice-producing provinces. Yung sinasabi mo, wala akong nakitang ganun doon.
Nalilito tayo.
No, kasi we are passing the rice tariffication bill. So nag-inventory kami ng rice-producing provinces in the Philippines at ano yung kanilang cost per, yung cost of production at saka yung kanilang yield. Wala akong nakitang ganyan. Sigurado ba kayo dyan? Pinabababa ko yung aking files eh. Metric tons per hectare? Wala. Per year.
Per year, ma'am. 2 croppings.
The data is 4.5
Ilo-ilo.
metric tons
Yeah,
per
Iloilo.
hectare per cropping. Oh, yeah.
Never Ilo-ilo.
4.5.
Pinakamagaling ang
You know, the last time I saw your data, it's 3.6. 3.6 metric tons per hectare per cropping. Hindi ba? Ganun galing. Remember that data coming from you. Now, malayo itong 4.5. That's almost 1 metric ton difference per cropping.
At 90 kabans per hectare. So times 50.
Well, as I said, double check because I just came from your office about 2 weeks ago and you presented to me a data which says that your production is 3.6 hectares per metric tons per cropping, or 7.4 for 2 crops. Now you're saying 9 metric tons. Because the next question I will ask you is, with the halaor, what will it do? How will it address, how will it alleviate our food security problem?
If on halaor, sir, presently in Iloilo alone.
So that's why we want to know the base figure.
Yes, sir.
Hindi ba?
Yes, sir.
Isn't that a correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We double the production of the rice from 140 actually to 240 metric tons.
From how much?
Iloilo. That 140 metric tons with the that is the 22,000 hectares na presently in-irrigate ng halaor. And then with the project, we will be irrigating 32,000 hectares dahil meron tayong 9,500. So we are expecting
Alam mo,
about
Jerry, I could not
40,000
really understand all these figures because I get different figures every time I talk to you guys. Can you officially put it in writing? General Bisaya, do not have to put it under oath. Basta in writing naman. So that
Yes, sir. I will do that, sir. We will submit that, sir.
iba-iba yung naririnig ko sa inyo. Iba-iba yung nakikita ko every time I sit down with you. Pwede ba?
Yes, sir.
Officially submit it to the committee for my official record.
We'll do that, sir.
All those data that we need. Okay?
Yes, sir.
I would recommend that yung mga regional director na in charge of the rice producing provinces and the provinces under them, you better get your figure straight kasi nag-inventaryo kami niyan eh. Hindi ganyan na lumalabas to say. May study kami kasi we are passing the rice tarification and we are passing the rice competitiveness enhancement fund. So tinitingnan namin sino ba yung 57 rice producing provinces and how do they perform in terms of cost and in terms of yield per metric ton per hectare. Wala akong nakitang ganyan eh. Binasa ko eh. Kaya General Visaya, maybe yung mga in charge mo sa mga iba, bawat region, matuto silang ayusin nila yung figure nila. Kasi syempre pag tinatanong tapos kung ano-ano ang sinasabi, para kasing napansin ko sa ating government, sa dinami-dami ng ginawa nila, nakakalimutan nila yung mga basic figure na dapat memorize nila by heart, being the one managing their places, di ba? So, dapat i-straighten nyo yun kasi may mga figure dito, yung nabasa ko dito, hindi yun yung sinasabi niya eh. Tapos pag sinasabi niya uli, nagkakabalik-baliktad. Hindi na consistent, di ba? So you put it in writing, ayusin nyo, and then tingnan nyo mabuti para hindi nagkakabalik-baliktad yung figure nyo. Kasi, di ba? At least yung probinsya mo, dapat memorize mo by heart.
Not only that, ma'am. Not only that, Madam Chair, but accurate data is the only basis of a good management. You cannot manage well if you do not have the correct data. And here, I keep on, that's why I'm just, it so happened that I have been working on this project for the last 6 years. And that is why I'm interested in the data. And here, I get conflicting reports. I'm sorry to say, I've been working with you guys, no? But now I have to ask for the specifics. And that is why we would request that you submit to the committee, at ito yung ating Biblia, ha? Ito yung ating data. So that at the end of the day, we will go back to this data and see how far we have gone, or if we have deteriorated, and judge our administration insofar as this is concerned. So it is very important that for purposes of good management, we know what are our base figures, which right now it keeps on changing. I'm sorry to say. So if we can have that, when can we have that, General Visaya?
Tomorrow, sir.
You sure tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
Don't submit to us something that will change again next week. I would not, we would, I think the chair can give you a little time, just a week probably, but do it accurately, because we'll hold you to your word.
Yes, sir. 1 week, sir.
Make it accurate, huh? And then, as I said, we do not have to put this under oath, but this will be on record in the committee hearing.
Yes, sir.
Okay, in the figure that they gave us, categorization of 57 high priority provinces, Iloilo is in the low yield. Low yield, competitive cost. They produce rice at 11.90, palay at 11.96 per kilo, but they produce lower than 4 metric tons per hectare. Oh, so dito ha.
I recall
Kasi-
3.6, ma'am.
Oh, Iloilo. So you better kasi nilist down nila 11 provinces are competitive, low cost, and then high yield, more than 4 metric tons per hectares. Another 18 provinces greater than 4 metric tons per hectare, but high cost. And then Iloilo is the low yield and competitive cost. So ito yung And then normal kanilang volume of production per metric tons average 2013, 2014, 2017 868,786. That's yearly
The entire province, ma'am.
of Iloilo.
That's
Okay.
how many, ma'am? 600?
868,786. Yearly to, no? 800.
Well, they were saying kanina
No,
633,000.
it's 868,786.
So our own figure does not, the figure of the committee does not even jive.
Kasi ito yung total production for the year. Oo, kasi nakaka-produce tayo ng 19,000. So the first 57 provinces is producing more than 18, almost 19,000 metric tons, 19 million metric tons.
So, General Visaya, can you submit the data which will validate or give or
Yeah. Be
give a more
careful
detail?
kasi
Yes, that's why.
meron
Don't give us
listahan.
tomorrow. About tomorrow, you'll work overnight. Mali na naman i-submit nyo. A week is, I think a week is enough time.
Yes, sir. In 1 week, sir, we will submit, sir.
Okay,
Sige.
sige
Thank
po.
you, Madam Chair.
Siguro lahat din ng mga iba mong not only Iloilo but the others, para at least alam nila kung pag tinanong sila, alam nila isasagot. Okay, thank you. So, we suspend the hearing of the National Irrigation Authority.
Thank you, Madam
Thank
Chair.
you, Sen.